Bear with me because I'm still coming off of an incredible high. 8.5 million people saw a belt fly right off this sawmill here. Granted, most of you guys were here for the defund the HOA stuff, but either way, let's go ahead and slap this sticker on the sawmill and get it fixed and back in working order in no time. Because like I told you guys in the comments, over 7,000 of you, this belt left the chat to go fight battles with Karen, but it's an easy fix, so let's get after it. Let's not leave it stumped too long. Woo! Oh yeah. That looks about like a good spot right there. All right, in true channel fashion, let's dive right in. So today's project would not be that easy if we did not have readily available parts from MechMaxx. So as you see here, we have a belt kit that would replace our large belt here and our small belt here, but we only need to replace our small belt. And I know a lot of you are like, oh yeah, it's already breaking. It's because it's a Chinese import company. This thing is going to have wear and tear that's going to happen. You're going to have to replace the belts. You're going to have to replace your blades. Those are just naturally occurring things that are going to occur with use of a product like this. But that's the good thing about MechMaxx is that they are constantly improving their website and what parts they have available for you when things do inevitably wear out. And the other thing that is worn out on this thing is our blade guide assemblies, the wear plates on them. So we're going to go ahead and replace these today too. And I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks for your blade tracking on these MechMaxx sawmills. So stick around. Oh, let's see if this is super difficult to open like one of these blades are. Oh wait, no it ain't, because it's just a belt. Now one thing I will tell you about these belts is that, well, I guess this is a little more difficult than I thought, is that once you get them on here, they do look kind of weird, because I'm used to all of my belts fitting real tight, but these belts are designed to have a lot of play on this end over here. It kind of looks like an egg shape. So don't be weary when you get your new piece of equipment. Most of you watching this likely are just interested in buying a sawmill from MechMaxx and you're not actually doing this replacement yourself. But even the new belts, when you order your stuff directly from MechMaxx and you're putting it together, or when you replace your belt, it's going to have this excess slack here, and that is to be expected straight from the factory. Not really sure why we have all that play, but we do. It's normal. It's good to go. Don't worry about it. As you'll see right here, I went ahead and disassembled the blade guide assemblies. One thing you want to be wary of is you want to ensure free motion of your rear wheel bearing here on each of your blade guide assemblies. The kit comes with these replacement wear surfaces right here, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you probably remember that I used to say that these were graphite wear surfaces. Well, they are definitely not, because this does not flake off like a pencil. It's actually a much more solid substance than graphite. And then it also comes with all these set screws here, in which I'm not going to reuse because these set screws here are good to go. To loosen these, you'll just need a 3mm Allen wrench. And then another thing that I've noticed in some of the comments on Facebook is that people say these sawmills have no way of adjusting your blade guide assembly's height. And that is wrong, because if you loosen this bolt right here, you can turn this offset shank in which the blade guide assemblies slide in. And as you'll see, since that shank is offset, as you rotate it, it raises and lowers your blade guide assembly. Just be mindful that if you rotate this one on this end, you will need to adjust your little drip valve right here for your cooling liquid, because you don't need that pointing up if you have this all the way to where the offset is up top. But this is how you raise and lower your blade guide assemblies on either side of your machine. And then another thing I've noticed that people were talking about is potentially installing your log dog stops on this end. Instead of putting them on this end, they were asking if you could put them on this end, and that would not be advised, because you want the rotation of the mill to push into the log and drive it deeper into your stops, instead of on this side where it would just pull away from it. That's not what you want. You don't want your mill fighting against itself. You want to have a backstop on that end. And here's your blade guide assemblies in there, all properly assembled. You want your blade to be able to rest in between here with about a sheet of paper thickness between the two, to ensure that all it's doing is kind of gliding in there and not really continuously scraping, or then they'll prematurely wear out like the ones that I'm replacing right now did. So check this out right here. You can see what I mean. As I rotate this, it goes up and then it comes back down. And it's because of that offset shank in there. So now I got the blade guide assemblies all back installed, but I didn't tighten anything down yet because I like to adjust my blade tracking first. As you'll see on this side, I have about 3/8 of an inch blade protrusion, which is what you want. This side over here needs to be adjusted. So to adjust it, you need to back off your 27 foot-pounds of torque on here, and then you need to adjust this right here. So counterclockwise to move the blade forward and clockwise to move the blade back. And this is what you have to loosen because this just locks it in, and then this bolt here is actually what you're adjusting. Once you make your adjustments, then you re-torque down your blade tension, and then you can rotate it a few times by hand and you'll be able to see the blade come forward. But you want to take off the tension before you do any adjustments. And then you'll get it all good to go. You'll flick it with that spin, you'll take your torque wrench, put on the end here, give it a click, pop. Now you know you're good to go. And then once you run it through a log a little bit, you need to go ahead and check it at that point because now it's been under full load and you just want to check your blade tracking. You may have to do some minor adjustments at that point. But right now we have it all good to go. I've also seen on some of the Facebook groups that on the SM26, it doesn't have this nut welded on the end. So some people weld a nut on the end of it to where they can get a torque wrench. Other people use this little oil wrench that I can link, and it'll allow you to take like basically a 3-prong thing and put on your T-handle here to be able to hit the appropriate torque with your torque wrench. Or once you do it a few times, you pretty much don't have to use the torque wrench. You can just do it by feel. Oh, also, I kind of broke my water little nozzle off. I guess rust really gets to these things, but you can pick these up at any hardware store. But I believe it's just going to come out of that hole pretty nicely anyways. As you can tell, I have not ran this thing in a while. I know a lot of you guys always try to challenge me, be like, oh yeah, he acts like it was a cold start, but he's been running it. Actually I haven't. I've been kind of slack when it comes to my milling operation. So let's get all these cobwebs out of the way. I do have a new scale on the way, and in a future video, I'm gonna change these blade guide assemblies out to rollers, but I'll save that for another video. But let's see if this thing will start up after months of not operating. Now that I got up and running, and I use windshield washer tablets in that. Let's go ahead and flip our water on. Get these cobwebs out of here. See if we get any flow. This water right here came out. It looks like my tarp isn't doing justice. It looked like water got up there and it vibrated out of the muffler housing. But as you can see, I got water coming out. I need to adjust it because that's a little fast, but we're pretty much ready to mill now. Before I start milling, one other thing, if you need to adjust your water flow, this valve right here will do that for you. And then if your engine is idling too much to where your blade is engaging a little bit, you need to adjust this screw right here. I got some dirty BCGs. Let's get these things on. Remember, hearing protection, glasses. I like to use gloves. My camera's tracking me, so I think we're good to go. Let's see how this thing mills after months. I'm barely pushing. Now is when you want to check to make sure your blade tracking is still good. Looks great on this end. Looks even better on that end. We're good to go. Man, oh man, for an ugly piece of pine, this MechMaxx sawmill sure is making that thing turn into a beautiful cant. And I'm gonna keep milling here, but I just wanted to let you guys know that that's about all I got for you guys today. So hopefully you can see, and the video does it justice, that once you get your blade tracking, your blade guide assemblies, and your blade tension all dialed in just right, these MechMaxx sawmills are great hobbyist sawmills to allow you to really venture into the world of milling, and you can make all kinds of stuff. I've seen the Facebook groups grow and grow of people, proud owners of their mills, who've built anything from benches to whole 6-foot privacy fences, just some really awesome stuff that they've been able to use their MechMaxx sawmill to construct on their homestead. But I don't have all the tips and tricks, so if you have more that I may have missed, please drop them in the comments so the community can keep growing. And then if you guys have any questions with anything MechMaxx related, please hit me up. Don't be afraid to. You can message me via email. I got it linked in my video or on my YouTube page. And then I also have a coupon code in the video description for you to save some cash on any MechMaxx products you may want. And that is a vast majority of products that they ventured into. They got everything from machinery products now, they got pressure washers, they got sawmills, wood chippers, stump grinders, you name it. They got all kinds of stuff. So as always, hopefully you're no longer stumped. Hopefully you learned something today. Please remember to stay safe and stay hydrated. God bless. I'll catch you guys on the next one.